G'day YouTube, I'm Irish. I'm friends with Viv from Rubbish In Rubbish Out, and both of us are involved with Knights with Dice. A new YouTube channel will be starting up. I've just been lent a camera and I've decided to record some vids. So hopefully I'm going to share with you here my hobby, what I like to do from making scenery to conversions. The rest of this vid, hopefully when it works out, once I finish editing it, will be a recap of what I've done with my Mordheim terrain. I was heavily influenced by the guys from Long Island Wargaming and the terrain they made, and made me really want to play, so I started some terrain. So yeah, it's and a lot of terrain. But so we'll cover this in this video. Here's what I've done. Hopefully you like it. If you like, if you have any comments on the video, please put them on. All I can do is really see. Hopefully you like it. Thanks a lot. Here's some of my stuff. First of all, I've been working on some Mordheim terrain. I saw posts from Long Island Wargaming, not posts, but videos from them, and got really inspired to get involved in a campaign, which meant I needed to make some scenery. Instead of doing some simple stuff, I've decided to go quite extravagant. They're set up with some raised pieces. Really inspired me. This was the first piece I completed to see if I could actually achieve it, which I think I did quite well. The next one is going to be a lot better, so I'm hoping. Hope if you're seeing this all right. This lovely light from Viv and this beautiful camera. So yeah, obviously I've got bits of damage, and this wasn't coated, or yeah, it's not quite finished. But it went through a few stages to get here. This was a piece that I just a random shape from some packing foam, which actually had a cord holder. I ended up leaving that, and I'm going to put let's see if we can get that in camera shot. I'm going to put a sewer pipe in there. Hopefully have a trickle of ooze coming down. I'd like to be able to play the ground floor as a sewer, because I've made enough rises to do it like that. So alright, so that was the first one. The second piece I did, so I thought instead of doing the corners that were on the other one, I thought about trying to get off a bit easier with one of the old school techniques of bits of card to represent stones that are visible through the mortar. Well, it wouldn't be mortar, but covering. So I did this piece. I will use it, but I might end up adding the things on. They kind of looks a bit more. So that was this next prototype. So I haven't finished that one. I'm going through a bit of prototyping to make sure I can get things the way I wanted. So next of all, this is a big piece, so hopefully I can get this in the camera without breaking stuff. Alright. Now this, which hopefully you can see alright, it's quite large. It's over 2 foot sides. So very much a corner piece, but I have made the back. I haven't quite finished this yet. Whereas you'll see here, hopefully, if it's not too white, it's very white in the screen. It's coming in here. We've got the same effect with the bits of card, good old Nutrigrain packets, and I've tried to cover this effect up with the plaster and not make it so bitty. You can see the bits in there, and I've done that most of the way around. I've got two sides, this big long back and the big long back to do, as well as I've forgotten to do one of the sides in here, so that one's not done. That side is. This will all be topped, so it's all got that same. Well, looking at the wrong bit. That there is the same part, same was tying it all together, and they'll all be paved in the same fashion. And this is another piece. I'm just really happy with this piece. I like it. I've still got to cover up a couple of lines that have just snuck through where I've joined two 3-inch pieces of polystyrene together, and of course this will be paved like all the rest of the sections, and that's going to tie everything together. Which I'm actually done all my buildings like these, so they're actually flush, so that anything I place on the paving will be sprouting from the paving. I'm hoping that's the inevitable goal. Maybe I'm going to be putting some roughing the edges up so maybe it fits in better, but it's a work in progress. My whole table's a work in progress, and with Viv's help and some of the other boys from Knights of Dice, we're going to have a really good game. We get really good games on this table, and hopefully it's going to turn out looking pretty damn good. I'm not quite sure. So that's basically the risers that I'm doing. These have all been made out of hardboard. I think the Americans call it MDF, 3mm MDF, with, is it 5mm MDF? Maybe it's 5mm MDF. Could be 5mm. Looks pretty 5mm. And polystyrene, which I actually got off a building site. Oh, check your building sites out, guys. If you get big sheets they're using for actually the cladding on buildings, on modern buildings here in Australia anyway, they're using it as the cladding instead of wood, instead of other surfaces. They're using these big 3-inch thick bits, and they're actually spray crating it. So I got a lot of offcuts that was in a rubbish pile. Don't go in without asking, guys. If you go in, ask the guys who are there. Hopefully they'll let you. If they don't, I'm not going to condone going back after they close and getting it. Not condoning that. And I didn't have to, because the guys there were really nice. They're like just didn't know what was going on when I asked for it. Couldn't understand miniature wargaming, which is a bit of a letdown because we need to get this out here. It's a great hobby. That's my opinion anyway. So, right, next. Back again. So basically I wanted to show you a couple of the buildings I'm building for Mordheim. They're heavily based on Viv's City Fight buildings. Major differences would be I'm going to end up making them Tudor, not, you know, concrete lift up sort of buildings, that futuristic style. And I've made mine out of 5mm, and he was using 3mm, which is very cheap, very easy to do. I just wanted a bit more depth. I actually bought 10mm, and it was a bit much. I've actually used it, you'll see on here, 10mm at the bottom here. Trying to get things in the camera. So the whole bottom is 10mm to represent a thicker sort of wall. I could brick this up, I could do whatever I really want to this, but I'm just going to keep going with the generic, what I've been doing anyway. But I may not, there's a lot of work to be done in this, and I have got plenty to do. I could actually, I've got a solid staircase at the side, so I'm thinking if I brick that, and then I could brick the bottom and then panel the top. I'm not sure, there's so many Tudor building pictures out there. Some of them are very beautiful. I doubt mine will be turning out beautifully, but I do like how these are working. So I've basically got 3-inch, 2.5, I think. There will be roof sections, but I've made a lot of buildings, so process, going through them. I've been lent this camera, and I'm hoping this gives me some inspiration to do stuff. Definitely inspiration to film. Anyway, so that's my shell. So you might be thinking that doesn't look very Tudor-esque or even fantasy-esque. but we'll get onto that. So here is I think this is the second building I did in this style, decoration wise. So here we've got I've used balsa wood for the edges and paddle pop sticks. I was really ingenious with it here. This one I'm actually going to do quite plain. I made that decision not because I was being lazy, but because I decided I'm going to do this one quite slightly plain. So not going to be ridiculous amounts of cladding and decorative wood on the outside. But yeah, so it gives the idea. I think this is one of my better attempts at rubble. I try to do everything on the cheap. I don't go out and buy extra materials, except for I did buy the foam board. I don't buy the paddle pop sticks, but it's all pretty damn cheap. So I'm making do. So I'm cutting and putting edges and trying to make it look like this big chunks of wattle and daub are sort of falling off. I've got another piece with lots more cladding on the outside, where I'm actually so the stuff that's fallen down has more wood involved in it instead of these planks that look like they more or less come from the roof. I mean, I could put a few more on the ground. It's not going to look busy. I'm still unsure what I'm doing with my grounds. Here's the example I was saying when I was going about my everything being flush. I've actually tried to make all of my edges completely flush. Like my door frame sticks out. Shit. I'll be modelling steps out of bluestone to go on there to try and tie it in, but the idea is so that can sit on nearly anything and hopefully give it a fairly flat line. And this is too thin for it, but hopefully you'll see that well enough that it works. Doing things reverse is a bit mirror-like. But yeah, so that's. I'm thinking it's going to work. I'm hoping it's going to work. I'm putting a lot of work into it. We'll see. So yeah, so that's it. So paddle pop sticks lining all the windows and doors to try and give that frame. I accidentally put that one in, but I'll probably break that corner off and try and make it look like it's been hit by something. You know, I might fuck this stuff up the edges too. But anyway, so that's it. But yeah, general idea, that's what all my buildings will end up with. So this has the layer of foam. You can see it here. I didn't actually taper the edges of this one like I tapered the edges of these platforms. Actually, I didn't taper the bottom, that they're still really square. So I will taper those before I glue any sticks down. But that's a while away because this one I glued to get the idea. This was my attempts at ones. The other building I've done the cladding on, I still haven't put the boardwoods on yet. I do have a bit of a passion for excuse me, a passion for I don't know if that's coming up. So this is stained, not even stained, I've used crappy $2 paint and I've rubbed it in with my fingers. So I've rubbed it off the surface. It's like a reverse dry brush. I've slopped it on and wiped it off. I think it gives a nice effect. I'm hoping that comes up there. I honestly think it brings up some of the knots. It brings up, it works. So I'm very tempted to do my floors out of these boards, and after I do everything else, just sticking them on, already painted. I'm still not sure yet. I'm still working on ideas, but this is one I did to get the idea and give other people the idea, so I wasn't just showing them, yeah, here's my buildings, check this shit out. So trying to show it, so I'm stepping up. Anyway, that's the general idea on my buildings. Got a lot of work to do, a lot of accessories to make, ladders, platforms, bridges, tons and tons of stuff. But we played a game on it and we had a lot of fun, and I'm hopefully be playing a game later on in the week. Maybe I'll put some coverage of that up, I'm not sure.